Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie. I'm known around most social media platforms as Honestly Mommy. And today, my beautiful little co-host, fresh from the womb, ooh, is Samantha. She is joining us to talk about my postpartum regimen, as Mama was supposed to finish this video before she was born, but hi world, I came a little earlier than Mama expected. And Mama's super happy about that. So again, I meant to have this whole video put together before I ever had the baby. I wanted to share with you guys some of the stuff that my midwife has me use to prep for a postpartum, and then some of the things that I've discovered through my 3 different postpartum times. Now this is my 4th. Just things that I've used over the years that I've found have helped speed recovery or bring some relief, or you're kind of distracting. Stop distracting everybody. Or whatever, tips and tricks and all of that. So I hope you guys learn a lot during this video. You might want to get out a pad of paper and a pen. I'm going to be sharing tons and tons of information. I also have a blog post that I wrote for my last labor and delivery, so I'll be sharing that link below if you're looking for a little bit better list with some reading, some content, some ideas, and links. So definitely check that one out also. I don't know if I need to add this or not, but I'm gonna make sure that I cover my butt. I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not a midwife. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. None of it. I am a mom. I have had 4 labor and deliveries now. They've been very different. All of mine have been natural. 1 was in a birthing center and 3 have been at home. So a lot of the products I lean towards are very natural, but just so you know, I am not claiming to be a somebody. I'm not claiming to know everything. This is not medical advice. Please make sure that you're working closely with your healthcare provider, with whoever you choose. Just know that these are suggestions from a mama of 4 who's gone through the trenches with you and understands the pains of after babies. And so I'm just trying to be helpful and share any information that I think mamas might enjoy or benefit from. So let's get to it. Oh, bless you. Today I am postpartum day 4. I think it's a little harder to track this time around because Samantha was born at 9 p.m. So, each new morning I kind of wake up and I'm like, oh, she's 3 days old. Wait, how old is she? It feels a little flopped because it's not like each morning she's a new day. I don't know. So I'm a little confused as to how long exactly it's been, how many days. But I just did my 3-day postpartum checkup last evening, last night at about 8 o'clock. So today is technically, rolling into day 4 of postpartum, which when would there be a better time to share part of my postpartum regimen with you guys than when I'm actually doing it and it's nice and fresh in my mind. So I just gathered the things. Basically, I have been holed up in my bedroom. This is my little sanctuary for the past couple of days, and I'll still be up here for a few more before I kind of start venturing back into normal life as mom downstairs. Because my midwife's theory is this is a really special time and kind of sacred time to just for mom and baby to bond, to really make sure you work on, if you choose to breastfeed, if you can work on, having your milk come in, because it's an uninterrupted time of bonding time. And so I get to sit up here and be treated like a princess and nurse baby all day long to try and encourage, milk production and for my milk to come in, but also to allow my body time to heal. It's interesting to me because the first time I had a baby, nobody told me anything about postpartum and I had no idea what to do. And so I really tried to get back to normal life. Even the next day, and was doing too much, and I was sitting on a really hard futon sofa all the time. And I just was like, dang, yikes. So now that I have learned a bit more and been through postpartum a few times, I've just learned a lot about how important it is to actually stay more reclined as best as you can. Obviously, stay off your your pelvis and try and keep your your hips and your body like more level and like flat, because it allows for your intestines to actually go back where they're supposed to go. Whereas if you're upright, you know, I mean, everything's all jumbled in there and you can kind of feel it. If you've ever had a baby before and you've gone through the postpartum period, you know, it's like something just got removed from you, and so suddenly there's this big gap there and everything's like scrambling to go, where do I fit? So keeping your body in a reclined position, laying as much as possible, just allowing things to shift naturally on their own and go back to where they belong, can be super helpful for recovery. And then also, again, I mean, you just went through labor. There's a reason it's called labor, okay? It takes so much out of us as mamas. I mean, even if you had a smooth birth or whatever, it takes a lot out of you, much less if you had a hard experience or even maybe a traumatizing experience. You need time, you need and you deserve time to rest and relax and let your body heal and recover. And even this time around specifically, I know it's really odd, but we are quarantined for the coronavirus. So we haven't had any guests, and it's been very peaceful and relaxing. And as much as it's kind of sad that people don't get to see Samantha immediately, at the same time, I feel like it's been really beneficial for my recovery. I feel I'm recovering so quickly, and I'm so rested and already feel, you know, like just more full of life. And so, yeah, recovery is important. Take your time, mama. You know, find a team. Get your husband to support you, maybe your mom, your mother-in-law, a good friend, something like that. Like, talk to people beforehand. Make sure you have your support team in place so that you can get the time you need, especially when you have other children. My husband is being a saint these last couple of days, and he is just doing the most fabulous job manning the house. He is cooking all of my meals. He's getting me everything that I need, checking on me and baby. He has the kids corralled downstairs, and he'll let like one of them come up at a time just so it's not overwhelming for me and baby. And we get this peaceful time together to bond, you know, me and my child, but then also with the new baby. And I mean, I cannot sing his praises enough. So if at all possible, and if you have, you know, the chance to talk to some people about getting like a support system in place for yourself, I cannot express how beneficial I feel that is. But let's get into some of the fun products that I've been using through basically all of my recoveries and a few new ones. First off, let's talk clothing. I'm always pretty particular before I have a baby that I go out and buy something new. Now, this isn't new. I got this in a FabFitFun box, but it's a cute robe. It makes me feel pretty, and then obviously there's easy access to everything. So I highly suggest, if you can, either, you know, purchase a fun new robe for yourself just so you feel pretty. Like, it's my little treat to myself. I buy myself a new like lounge outfit, like pair of jammies, robe type idea, something that I know will be comfy and easy for after each birth. And I don't take the tags off, and I put them in my closet, and that's like my special little treat that once the baby's here, I get to change into my outfit and, you know, and feel pretty, but also be comfortable and relaxed during postpartum stage. So this time, this was the pair of pants I bought just from Target, just cute little striped. The problem with these is, which, you know, so here's a fair warning, they have a really thick elastic band at the top, which normally isn't a problem. Now, when your womb is contracting, it's a problem. It was something that I didn't think through this time around. They just were cute, and they're so soft. And so I grabbed them, and I tried to put them on day one, and because of this, like, the band is just so thick, I found it constricting, and it caused more pain. So learn from my mistakes and just be aware. Now, on like day 3, I put these on, and it wasn't a big deal because most of those after contraction pains had kind of subsided, and it just wasn't a big deal for me. But if you're looking for like a nice pair of lounge pants, luckily I have these. They were off Pink Blush, and I pulled the string out, but these were just like a drawstring pair, so there's no elastic, no nothing up top. These are perfect because they don't cause any pressure or anything on you. So these are what I wore immediately postpartum. And then the other thing I do is usually have some sort of like dress, because I find that those, like if you feel like you need a little bit more under your robe or something, like if you're not comfortable just running around a robe, like a little nighty type dress can be helpful too. As far as underwear and stuff like that go, I usually make sure that I have all my nursing bras out. This time around, I picked up these cute little things. I have this one and I'm wearing a white one, again, just from Target. They're just lace. There's no underwire, no nothing. So they're really, really light support, but easy access because it's all just, you know, a floppy material. So like a sports bra type thing can be really helpful. Just, you know, obviously a sports bra goes up high, so you want something that's easy access. For me, I have found postpartum, I like feeling pretty. You know, your body just went through an intense process. For some of us, you come out feeling like, woo, I am woman, hear me roar. For others, you might not feel as pretty and soft. And I kind of feel like I go back and forth between that, where sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel so strong and so accomplished as a woman. And then other times I'm like, I feel a little jiggly and everything kind of blah, 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 blah. So I find it's nice to feel pretty, which is why I choose like this. And I have another like coral robe from when I had Aurora that is soft and feminine. It makes me feel good even in the midst of all the postpartum craziness. I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay. Sorry. Here's something though that doesn't make me feel quite as pretty. I bought these massive granny panties, Fruit of the Loom, with my first. Ooh, so that's kind of embarrassing. So we're talking like 7 years ago when I was prepping postpartum and I was, you know, new. I just read all of the articles, and one of the things that I read was basically buy yourself a pack of panties, you know, size up probably like 2 sizes. Buy yourself a pack of panties that you don't mind ruining, because obviously this time can be a little messy and a little heavy. And so I went and purchased this delicious pack of like, you know, like 10 pack of Fruit of the Loom panties. I've thrown out any of them that get yucky, and just I keep them and I tuck them away for each birth so that when I put, you know, those giant pads on and stuff, there's room for them to fit. And again, I don't care if they get ruined and I have to throw them away. So that's another suggestion, you know, spend 10 bucks on a 10 pack of panties and throw them away when they are trashed. Also, I mentioned this in my birth supplies video, but buy the gosh darn diapers. Just do it. I did not buy the diapers for my first 2 births, and finally on my 3rd birth, I caved and was like, you know, screw pride stuff. Just buy the diapers. Buy the diapers. You also are going to want lots and lots of nice, thick, overnight, as big as possible, granny panty style pads. I bought these natural ones off Amazon, but I did not pay attention to how many came in the box, and only 8 came in the box. So I had to scramble really quickly and go buy some of like the generic ones from Target just to make sure that I had enough coverage. Also, I should mention, the reason that I suggest the diapers is the diapers are fantastic right off the bat. Those first, like especially the first 24 hours when you are bleeding more heavily and it's a little bit crazier. These just give you so much peace of mind and like comfort and ease to change things, whereas pads can just get a little bit messier and stuff like that. So I highly suggest these just for the first 24 hours. And then like for this birth, because my water broke 2 days ahead of time and I was leaking and gushing all over myself like a baby, it was horrible. These are fantastic. So buy yourself some diapers. You won't regret it, seriously. I also like to prepare my bathroom by putting all of like my postpartum supplies in this cute little box. This is usually what I use like for my periods and stuff like that. I hide all my stuff in there and then just set it on the back of the toilet. Because that's just me personally. I just don't like my business hanging out for everybody to see. And it's just an easier way to keep it all in there. I'm not reaching in drawers or cupboards or whatever. I just have it right on the back of the box. I did buy these last time for Aurora's birth. I didn't really find that I used them much, but I have heard women, you know, who loved them, raved about them. In my opinion, it doesn't hurt to be over prepared for postpartum. If you don't end up using some of the stuff you bought, that's okay. Like, you know, these don't break the bank or anything like that. It's not a bad idea. I've never struggled with hemorrhoids during postpartum, but some women do. So if, you know, you're concerned about that, just pick up a pack of these from Target. One thing that is new for me this time around, one of my new products, is I just started with Young Living a couple months ago, and I heard rave reviews about this. It's called Claraderm. It is specifically designed for postpartum care. So it says it can be used before and after childbirth, and it contains myrrh, tea tree, lavender, frankincense, helichrysum, I don't know how to say that one, helichrysum, and Roman chamomile, which if you know anything about like essential oils and stuff, all of those have incredibly healing properties. Whew. So this arrived the day after I had baby, and I started using it immediately. Number one, smells fantastic. Number two, whew, I like it. I like it a lot. Let me just say, this might be my new favorite postpartum product, and I'm wishing that I would have had it with my other babies. It has a little bit of a cooling tingle. I don't want to say numbing, like, because, you know, that can get, that's not necessarily the right word, but it's soothing and helpful. Tea tree is like one of my favorites because it's such a healing herb. I've done lots of research. My mom used to use tea tree when we were kids. That was like her biggest cleaning supply, and like when we were sick, she would diffuse that in our room. So tea tree just has this medicinal and like nice euphoric scent to me. I associate it with like my childhood and health and stuff like that. So I am absolutely loving this spray. I left a link below if you want to check it out. It is pricey, but gosh, yeah. So far, I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Just spray that down there and thank me later. Of course, if you are breastfeeding, you want to probably have a bunch of pads on hand, breast pads on hand, for when that milk comes in. I do have reusable ones too, but I find, you know, right away as your body's trying to regulate and adjust, typically those don't cut it for me and I soak through them too quickly. So I do use these, you know, in the first, you know, maybe couple of weeks or whatever while my body is adjusting and trying to figure all that out. You also might want to have your breast pump on hand, a Haka. I know there's like those little nipple covers and stuff. I personally kind of go the route of just allowing things to air out. That's actually one of my huge postpartum tips that I learned from my midwife, is for your chest and also your down there lady parts, the more you can let them get at the open air, the better. Just, I mean, think about it. You know, when you have a wound or like, you know, a little cut on your pinky or whatever, say you cover it up with a Band-Aid. Well, what happens? It gets all mushy and white and it takes longer to heal. The more you can let that wound out in the open air, the quicker it speeds the healing, the better, all that. So I cannot say this enough. I cannot recommend this enough. Lay out, air out, get all that out in the air. It's super awkward, but typically I'll just kind of warn whoever, I mean like my husband or whatever, I'll be like, you know, can I just have an hour uninterrupted? And then I, you know, so I feel comfortable just letting it all hang out there, which is also where these come in handy. This is part of my birth supply kit anyhow, are these, I think they're called a 4x4 bed pad or 2x2 or something like that. You can find these just at Walmart and stuff. You know, they're like the bed wetting section. Like I use these for my kids when they start potty training. But this is part of my birth supply kit anyhow. So any of the extra ones I have lying around, I just lay out one of these pads on the bed and then allow myself to let it all hang out there, so that if, you know, you bleed a little bit or anything like that, it's not a big deal. It's easy cleanup. But seriously, I cannot recommend that highly enough. So after day like 1 or 2, when your bleeding has slowed down a little bit, it's a little bit easier and more manageable. Try to take, you know, try once or twice a day just to get some uninterrupted time, airing out, letting the girls see the sunshine, if you know what I mean. With that, another new product that I am excited to try are these underwear by Lilova. I think that's how you say it. I'm not 100% sure. Oops. How to say it. So this is the Mia Bikini. It holds 2 tampons worth of blood. These are actually period panties, which I've always wanted to try, and I've been very interested in. When they got here, I was shocked because these are, I don't know if you can see that, they're thin. Like, I mean, I was thinking it was going to be kind of like a pad type thickness. No, these are really thin. So I still have enough bleeding that I'm going to kind of hold off on these for like another day maybe. But I'm really excited to add these into my postpartum care. You know, as you kind of get to that stage where it's like there's just a little bit, but you, I don't know, maybe don't want to wear a pad or something like that. But yeah, so I'm excited to try these out, and I will be doing a full review later on my YouTube channel. Probably, well, that might have to wait till my period comes back, obviously. But I'll be letting you know how they worked for my postpartum experience also. So since you'll probably be in your bedroom a lot of the time during postpartum, and like my house is set up where we have stairs that lead up to the master bedroom, which are a big no-no according to my midwife. She wants you to avoid stairs, I mean, basically as long as you can, but for the first like 4 or 5 days for sure, just because of the way that what that does to your lady business. So avoid stairs as much as you can, and if you are able to get a help team in place, you know, to help you postpartum so that you can have the rest you need, if you're going to be up in your room, something that can be helpful is having a little like basket of snacks. So I do have some like fruit and nut packs in there. I have freeze-dried apples, freeze-dried fruit. I do have like Cheez-Its and like 1 or 2 other things. Might need to take a little snack break for the baby. Okay, so let's talk Tinkle Time and keeping yourself clean for a little bit. So everybody is aware that after you have a baby, use a nice peri bottle. Mine was all clean and dry a few days ago when I was going to shoot this video. But oh yeah, my baby came sooner than I was thinking. So I've been using mine. Awkward. Anyhow, I put together a video of my midwife making my postpartum tea, and also a peri-wash that she makes for you that includes compresses. Ladies, screw padsicles. Those are so last year. These compresses that my midwife makes, they're all natural. They use herbs. Whoo! Yep. Padsicles ain't got anything on these compresses. I'm serious. They don't take a lot to make. So I put together a short video sharing how she makes them, puts them together. Basically, it is something you need to do ahead of time, but there's no reason you couldn't. Or if you wanted to share the video with somebody who loves you a lot and would be willing to put them together for you, it only takes about half hour. It's pretty quick and easy, and they are incredible. So helpful in speeding healing time. So go check out that video. I've linked it below. But what that has to do with the peri bottle is you put the peri wash tea about 1/3 of the way. You fill it to about here, and then you fill the rest with warm water. So instead of just using water when you use the bathroom, you actually use the peri wash tea to help with keeping things clean, to help speed the healing process. Again, amazing. Also, a little tip when you're tinkling, I have found it helpful that instead of just sitting straight on the toilet, because again, that puts pressure on your lady business, if you lean a little bit to one side and maybe kind of sit on one leg a little bit, it eases that pressure in a really good way. It also allows a little bit easier access to what you're doing down there. And I know you all know this already, I hope. Don't wipe. You know that, right? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because you don't want to get little bits of toilet paper that end up staying down there and potentially causing yuck, but also painful. So if anything, you can maybe like wipe your, like gently, I'm talking gently here, your thighs, your outer thighs, or just very lightly skim that area to get the droplets off if you're, you know, if you don't have time to drip dry, but come on, you've got time, it's okay. Another thing that I had no idea about before I started working with my current midwife is keeping clean. So bathing is a huge thing. Well, and I shouldn't say bathing. Don't take a bath. That is one thing that she puts in her her postpartum checklist, and it was something I didn't fully think through. You do not want to submerge your womb, because obviously like hot warm water, it opens blood vessels and it can cause you to bleed more. Don't do that. So like a sitz bath where it literally is just for your lady parts, that's fine, but that's very, very different. You're talking, that's like an inch, 2 inches of water. Do not take a bath until, I guess, I'm not 100% sure when. I mean, I would guess a couple weeks out, because you don't want things to open up. You don't want to, you know, cause bleeding or anything like that. We're trying to make sure that we get healed and recovered and all that good stuff. So don't take a bath. Take showers. Do you know how many showers you should take a day? Oh my gosh, 4. My midwife pushes for 4 showers, which I was like, how am I going to do that? We're not talking an hour-long shower here. We're talking a quick jump in, rinse off. Just again, you have an open wound down there, and it's in a, you know, hard area. It's one thing when it's on your arm and you can be very careful about making sure that it gets sunlight and it gets air and it's staying clean. It's different when it's down there and it's hidden and it stays more wet and moist and hidden. So jump in the shower, shoot for 4 times. I found what's really helpful for me to stay on top of it: breakfast, lunch, dinner, bedtime. When I just kind of set myself like that, I'm like, oh, okay, I just ate breakfast, I'm gonna go pop in the shower. And I mean, I don't usually take more than like 30 seconds, a minute. I turn the water on, I pop in, I just make sure to kind of wiggle around, let it all drain down there. You don't want to wash with like soap, and even, you know, because I'm breastfeeding, I'm very careful not to put soap in this area, because I don't want babies, I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So either make sure that you really researched your soap and you're comfortable that it won't, you know, that maybe doesn't have chemicals or harsh cleaners in it or anything like that, so you're comfortable with it potentially being in your baby's mouth. Or I just don't use soap at all. Like I will soap, you know, like my armpits, and even, you don't want to lather up your lady business. Again, open wound, let's be careful here. But I usually do kind of wash like my thighs, like right on the side, just to freshen up and just make sure that I don't get in there or anything. I mean, don't rough yourself up. Obviously that just happened enough for you. So keep it clean. Make sure that you're staying fresh and clean, you know, so there's no chance of infection and stuff like that. But at the same time, be gentle with yourself. So yes, 4 showers a day. Just think breakfast, lunch, dinner, bedtime, and 30 seconds in and out. And then of course, you know, when you're just wearing a lovely robe all day, it makes it really easy to just jump in and out of the shower and throw my robe back on. Nailed it. So a couple other quick things I wanted to mention is, if you still have like your prenatals, definitely keep taking those. I have quite a few left here. These will last me a while. So I just continue to take my prenatals throughout postpartum and as long as I have them, and then I switch over to my regular multivitamin, just because obviously your body's depleted during this time. So anything you can be doing to get, you know, good nutrition and supplements inside is fantastic. I also have been taking these vitamin C tablets from Young Living. Again, just vitamins, nutrition, I'm into all of it. A B complex, because yep, sometimes, you know, you're lacking a little bit of energy or perk, and so I've been taking my B complex. I also am one of those crazy moms who does the placenta encapsulation. I am not looking to get into that here, but if you are looking for more information, you can go research about that and just the health benefits of doing that. But I am taking my placenta capsules because we're 4 days out, so those are already finished for me. Another thing that my midwife starts you on immediately after birth, oh no, is Arnica Tablets. They are a homeopathic remedy. Again, I'm just asking you to do your own research on these. I've done my research. I absolutely trust my midwife and believe in homeopathic remedies. And Arnica is good for bruises, muscles, stiffness, all that. So basically traumatized tissue. This. You take 4 of these little tablets and you put them under your tongue and let them dissolve, and you take them every couple of hours, so you can take up to 4 doses a day. So we start that right away. For afterbirth contractions, typically my midwife starts you on a regimen of Tylenol and ibuprofen, and you switch back and forth between the two of those. Take one, and then when you're at the hour limit for that one, you know what I mean? Like follow the dosage, follow the recommendation. But like Tylenol, it's every 4 to 6 hours. So when you're at like the 6-hour mark, you would switch over to ibuprofen. This time I only did Tylenol to help with the pain of contractions, which I found I only needed it for about the first 24 hours, and then they weren't unmanageable, so I just stopped taking Tylenol. So depending on how your pain tolerance is going and what your care practitioner recommends, just go with what they suggest you. Lastly, I also wanted to bring up this Belfit corset. So sorry you can't see it very easy, but it's like a postpartum girdle. It does have support down here too. This clips up with these little hooks. I did use that last time after my delivery with Aurora and found it very helpful, just in, you kind of feel like your insides are all like shifting around and like blah, blah, blah. Helpful. You can put it on like immediately after birth. I still haven't started using it at this point, mainly because I'm getting the rest I need and I've been able to lay a lot, so I haven't felt like I needed it quite as badly, like the support, but I probably will start wearing it tomorrow. That again, I have a full blog post, just like a written review on it and kind of what I thought and my experience. I'm linking that down below if you're interested. Now, I have not had a C-section before, but I've read like on their website, and I've heard lots of moms, C-section or vaginal moms, have both raved about it and how it can be helpful for both mamas. So that's just a really interesting thing if you've thought about any of that type postpartum support wear. Belfit is a very like highly recommended one. I collabed with them last time for it, and I found it helpful, so I thought that I would add that here as well. Alright, so that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video, that you learned a lot, that you picked up a few new things, and most of all, just good luck on your postpartum journey. I know, labor and delivery is a super intense time for all of us mamas, so I am wishing you the best with your healing and just going through that process. Baby says,
okay. Hi guys again. So today's video is going to be learning about how my mom got this baby, and I'll tell you her baby's name once we look at her. Do you want to see her? So here's my mom. You see that tiny thing right there? Let's get in a little closer so you can see it. That's my baby sister right there. Mom, do you want to tell her name?
no, you said you were gonna.
Wait, what's her name again? Samantha. And her name is Samantha.
Hope.
Samantha Hope. She's so cute. Guess what Mom went in to have her born? A birthing tub.
Good job, yo. Alright, all done.
There's also this truck, you know about it. You saw it in my first video. Bye. Bye.